So God says that America is cursing him by her gods. He says that the gods of America are because people are very prideful. You cannot speak to the average American concerning spiritual things because, unfortunately, the general temperature in this country is that even people who know nothing about the Bible feel that they know something about the Bible. It's very hard to find a person who is humble enough to say, I don't know that much about that. If you go on the street with a microphone, they'll just say, but doesn't God do this? And doesn't God do that? And they're not even aware of the weirdness of it being their wrong perception of a God that they've never taken the time to get to know. They've never taken the time to actually take the Bible and study. Even a Muslim, most Muslims, before they begin to argue against the Bible, have read some portion of it. And in fact, the more studious guys will take the Bible and study it for 2 to 5 years, reading it with a mindset that if I understand the material, I am better able to what? To argue against the material. So at least because they want to argue against Isa, they will read the Bible to understand the Christian perspective. But then you look at the people who are in a Christian nation and they're biblically illiterate. They do not study the word of God. This is old people all the way right down to teens, to young people. Nobody is being gifted a My First Bible anymore. My First Child's Bible, My First Teen's Bible. It's very hard to find Christianity passed down as a legacy in a nation that has somehow managed to convince us all that, oh no, this is a Christian nation and this is what America stands for and God is on our money. Isn't he on our money? The God that is on the money is not the God that is in heaven. It's the Mammon God. It's the Illuminati God. It is the secret society God. It has nothing to do with the God who is the Father of Jesus Christ, the God who is the progenitor of the entire complete work of salvation that we are supposed to be beneficiaries of. And so when pride is in a nation, it gives birth to unbelief and logic. Unbelief is simply where you will not believe anything. There are people in America, they claim that they're Christians, but they don't believe in hell. Bishop Carlton Pearson was one such person. And there are many people in America who their logic leads them to argue that if God was truly good, he could not create hell because good people have no side that would take place in the darkness, evil, and punishment that hell is. And so the pride in them leads them to lean towards logic and say, but if A were A, then B cannot be B, instead of leaning towards faith, which is God is more than able to speak on his own behalf and say who he is and say what he has created and what the purpose of what he has created is. And so God says that America is cursing him by the gods of the pride in their heart, the unbelief in their minds, and their willingness to bow to logic as a God and not him. You see this, for instance, when the natural disasters come, people will say it's climate change. People will say, oh no, it's because the seas are rising. That's why we're getting flooding. People will say, oh no, it's cloud seeding. That's why all this flooding is taking place simultaneously around the world. There's no such thing as Jesus is coming back. It's not the end of the world. People, calm down. It's just weather manipulation. It's this and that. Whenever you see that coming out of the mouth of someone, that is the God of logic, the God of pride, and the God of unbelief operating in that person.